Next on Worcester News tonight, a look at some towns' efforts to keep drinking water clean and how their costs are rising. Plus, the U.S. women's soccer team takes home the World Cup, and along with celebration, a renewed call for equal pay. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. We begin tonight with our weather. If you're coming off a vacation, it wasn't a bad day to be back at work. And if you're taking this week off, you picked a good one. Here's Pamela Gardner with a first look at our local forecast.
Hey there, good evening to you. Well, it was a beautiful afternoon today, and our temperatures will remain in the 70s to 60s in the overnight forecast. Plus, we continue to see decreasing cloud cover, mostly clear skies, beautiful starry night, and overnight lows will dip into the 60s to some suburbs in the 50s, but very refreshing air as our dew point temperatures remain very low. Overnight lows 50s to 60s across all of southern New England here. The wind very, very light. Tomorrow afternoon, a little bit of a west-northwest breeze. And once again, we're going to increase the heat and increase that sunshine. Summer sun and 84 in Worcester, 88 degrees in Fitchburg, Lowell 89, Jaffrey, New Hampshire 85 degrees. So in our forecast, more sunshine ahead for your Wednesday as well. The humidity slowly creeps up by the end of the week. And then we'll be tracking a chance for some scattered rain and thunderstorms by Thursday going into Friday. I'll show you the percentages and also a little bit of the hour-by-hour timing in your exclusive 10-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Pamela. A lawnmower appears to be the cause of a house fire in Leicester. Firefighters responded to this home on Baldwin Street Sunday afternoon. The fire caused significant damage, but fortunately no injuries were reported. The fire department says the homeowner had just mowed the lawn and saw smoke coming from his garage. About 10 minutes later, the fire spread to the first and second floors of the home. The United States women's soccer team takes home their 4th World Cup title with a win against the Netherlands Sunday. This is their 2nd consecutive win, and among the celebrations, a powerful message of pay equality was chanted.
The U.S. women's soccer team is bringing home the World Cup, repeating as champions. The U.S. defeated Netherlands 2-0 in France Sunday. Closer to home, Worcester's United women's soccer team, the Smiles, say it was an impressive win.
I kind of saw it coming. They're amazing players. They're incredible. Watching them play, their foot skills, how they're dribbling up and down the field, their passing, communication, the energy they have as a team.
It was a very inspirational win. It's inspirational to our team.
A chant for equal pay for the women's soccer players broke out amid the celebration Sunday. Local organizations spreading a similar message say they are glad it was shared to a large audience.
The team was started to be a role model for our community, for all the players to come out and show that women can be just as good in sports as men.
It has to begin with the athletes themselves and getting young women and girls to join them. Obviously, our mission is race and gender equity.
The YWCA of Central Mass offers programs and services for women to improve their education and certifications to get a better living wage. Executive Director Linda Cavioli says the highest paid male soccer athlete makes $100 million, while his female counterpart only makes $1 million.
Pay overall is 70 to 80%. But in sports, in soccer, 100 to 1, that's just not right. And you have the 100 top paid athletes and not one of them is a woman. They're not any less talented or gifted as a man.
They do amazing, and they definitely deserve credit for that.
And that was our Brittany Schaefer reporting. The U.S. women's soccer team making history, winning their 4th overall for the U.S. women's team, and a Massachusetts native played a big role. Fans decked out in red, white, and blue were cheering them on in France and New England, especially in Hanson. Midfielder Samantha Mewis grew up there and was a soccer star at Whitman Hanson High School. Now her former coach couldn't be more proud.
There's a perfect example of a kid from a little town of Hanson who's worked so hard and had this dream when she was watching the Mia Hymns and all of them winning their World Cup and saying, I want to be there someday, and then doing what it took to get there. And
He hopes she'll return home this fall to see the faces of players who look up to her and talk about her experience in the World Cup. A victory parade is set for the team on Wednesday in New York City. This week, the city of Worcester is breaking ground on a new ballpark for the Boston Red Sox AAA affiliate. A ceremonial groundbreaking for Polar Park is planned for Thursday. The club announced last year it's moving from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. They plan to play its first season in Worcester in 2021. City manager Ed Augustus says during the ceremony, people can get a sneak peek at a more completed ballpark plan.
People also get for the first time a peek at some of the renderings of the ballpark. The ballpark renderings people have seen to this point are not, they were just a master plan kind of placeholder. They'll actually see the first renderings of the ballpark on Thursday.
And Augustus expects the leadership team of the Worcester Red Sox, representatives of the Boston Red Sox, and the governor and lieutenant governor to be a part of the historic day in Worcester. About a dozen kids hit the pool today for the city's first day of free swimming lessons. Lessons are held at the Crompton Park Pool in Worcester. A 5-day program of lessons will run for 8 weeks. The first group starts at 9:30, the second at 10:30. The city says children can participate in 1 week of lessons or multiple weeks. It's safe to say we're not known as the best drivers in the country, and it looks like the rest of America agrees. Out of 200 cities, Boston is near the very bottom at 198. Just behind is Worcester at 197. The safest city is Brownsville, Texas. The worst is Baltimore. Immigration authorities are ready to identify, detain, and eventually deport approximately 1 million undocumented immigrants with pending removal orders. This is according to the Trump administration's top official at U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Meantime, a recent report by the Pew Research Center says only 5 states saw a significant increase in undocumented immigrants between 2007 and 2017. Of those states, Massachusetts had the biggest increase, but immigration attorney Randy Feldman says ICE plans on focusing on 10 cities and Worcester is not one of them.
They're going to look for people who came in this rush of people, generally from Central America, over the last 3 years, who had expedited court hearings, who didn't attend the expedited court hearing, or at the end of it were ordered deported, and who didn't leave.
Massachusetts has several so-called sanctuary cities who do not assist federal immigration authorities in making arrests. Worcester is not a sanctuary city. Costs are rising for clean water. Several area towns are making upgrades to their systems and building water filtration plants to deal with dirty water, and ratepayers feel the effect. Our Chandler Walsh is live in West Boylston, where a plant will be built in the coming years. Chandler.
Olivia, West Boylston is in the process of determining the best filtration method for their future plant, as well as where it will be located. Other towns like Webster are further along in the process. Their plant is in its final stages of construction. These pipes will filter about 2,000 gallons of water per minute. The town of Webster's new water filtration plant is months away from coming online.
Webster has had a number of years that they've experienced dirty water, brown, discolored water, and it has to do with the iron and manganese concentrations in the groundwater.
Water rates have risen at least 8% over the past few years to fund the $10 million project. The town says it's the price to pay for clean water.
You always get a little bit of pushback when rates go up, but I think people realize that in order to fix the issues that we have in town and to reduce the number of dirty water calls that we get, we're going to have to spend some money.
Half of Webster's wells have iron and manganese concentrations above the state health advisory and have been turned off. Water Superintendent Greg Woods says several other central Massachusetts towns are also facing similar problems. In West Boylston, Michael Coveney says they need to build their own plant by 2022.
Now we're conducting a pilot study to determine what filtration method would be the best.
Coveney says their manganese issue is due to aging pipes and the state raising its standards. Water rates here have also been increasing.
We have several other major water main projects that are ongoing. The system is very old, and we try to replace a half a mile of water main a year.
Once Webster's plant is running, water will come in through these green pipes, get filtered and disinfected, and come out clean through the blue pipes.
Which will clean up the iron and manganese concentrations from 6 of the town's wells and then provide water that meets and exceeds the state's regulatory requirements.
The town of Webster expects water rate levels have leveled off, but do plan to gradually increase them to avoid a future rate spike. Here in West Boylston, the town is planning to apply for a state grant to cover costs. All of their wells are on, and Coveney says the water is safe to drink. Live in West Boylston, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.